I can't be canceled, there's no way that you can stop me. I'm fully independent, there's no label who can drop me. Y'all been starting rumors, let me help you with some. Yeah, y'all can't cancel me, my life is scandal free. There ain't no sponsors taking losses cause the brand is me. My hands are clean, my family and my fans agree. Y'all can't cancel me for facts because you're mad and weak. How's a man say I'm clickbait if he gonna use this face to get clicks on his page? Y'all hypocrites are made. But I ain't tripping about these bullies, it ain't 6th grade. Go ahead and diss me trying to sell a couple mixtapes. I am not playing it safe, I said what I said, it is what it is. I don't care if you mad at me, okay? Go ahead and change the channel. Don't waste your time trying to cancel me, okay? They love me cause they know that I'm it. Say what you want, I guess it is what it is. Haters can talk, but they can't cancel the kid. Go ahead and go off, try and say this is it.
Aaron Tuttle here. It's storm season in Oklahoma, and with that comes torrential rain, high winds, and hail. To protect your home and your family from these threats, the one roofing company you should trust is Ferguson Roof Systems. They've been providing the best in roofing services for nearly half a century. Ferguson is Oklahoma's full-service roofing company, certified with an A+ Better Business Bureau rating and a 5-star rating on Google. And with Ferguson now offering Class 4 impact-resistant shingles, now is the time to trust them with your home's roof. Get started today at FergusonRoofSystems.com. Hey everyone, Meteorologist Aaron Tuttle with you. It is about 9:40 on your Thursday night. We're going to be talking about the forecast as we head in for the rest of the night, what you can expect on into your weekends. We'll kick started on Friday for your celebrations. And I'm glad you like the tunes there, Laney. So anyway, let's get on with the program. We had obviously some rough storms for some of you out there this afternoon in the form of just your typical garden variety, lightning, heavy pouring winds, so some brief flash flooding. A lot of times you get some hail with that and some damaging winds. So that's what we had to contend with here for today. But thank goodness that the tornado aspect behaved for the most part. Let's take a look. First thing I want to show you, load this up here. Let's do this. By the way, thanks for watching, liking, sharing this video with all your friends and family, neighbors, etc., etc. Now, I'm going to start you off with this only because I just missed the sunset of all sunsets. I mean, it was so nice. So here's a look at, I took a screenshot of it just because it was so nice on my weather cam. And I was just like, whoa, this is about 8:34. I was like, this is incredible. So then I thought, you know what? I'm going to record a video on it real quick. Now, this is going to be a little smaller to see. I won't let me go full screen size on this, but you get the picture here. And I'm going to put it on, let's see. Let's start it at the beginning. Here we go. I think we're going to start at the beginning. Maybe we won't. Get that back up here. Play that again. So, come on, you can do it. Where is that button? It was working a minute ago. Of course, now that I go, to show it doesn't want to work. There we go. All right, let's do this again. So minimize that and then press the play button here, and I'll put it in fast motion for you. So just so you can see the movement. I mean, it was just so cool. So now when I went out in the front yard to look at it, it wasn't nearly this nice as what the camera can pick up from above. But man, I love those kind of sunsets that we get. When we do have storms in Oklahoma, it get looking really, really nice out there. So just want to show that with you because I don't use my weather cam all that much this season because we really haven't had a whole lot of nasty storms moving through, thank goodness. But at least it can pick up some really nice cloud structures out there too sometimes. All right, so that's enough of that, and let's close that, minimize that, and here's a look at the current radar view. So we do have some storms down here in southern Oklahoma still. There's a lot of lightning associated with them. There's nothing here in Oklahoma City or Tulsa. Everything's quieted down. But these will still have some pockets of hail down here along the Red River coming out of the Vernon area and just kind of just south of Frederick, and a little bit of, probably some pea-sized hail thrown in around Velma, south of you guys. And this kind of band of just light to moderate rain for the most part, continues from west to east across the state. The only true severe thunderstorm, really, for Oklahoma was this guy way out here in LaFleur County, and it's just about exited the state and now pushing into southwestern Arkansas. At a point in time, it looked like it may try to produce a tornado earlier on, so it cut in for that when it was east of Lake Eufaula. Then when it did come into Lake Eufaula, it had a funnel report at least halfway to the ground. Somebody may have seen some power flashes. The radar wasn't overly strong with that circulation, but there was a brief tornado warning in effect for that around Highway 9. But other than that, the only other potential tornado was around Dover earlier today, around I think about 1:30 in the afternoon. And that's it. Other than that, we really haven't had much in the way of tornadic activity, which, that's actually pretty good. Let's take a look at the rainfall rates. And if you missed this earlier on, I can show you. Here in Oklahoma City, rates about 1 to 2 inches. Some places may have gotten a little more, some places a little less, but a lot of this pink area is between 1 to 2, and that's over the body of the Oklahoma City metro. Once you get up north of town, though, it quickly gets into 3, 4, and 5 inch range, which is why we had some brief flash flooding up here on the north side of Edmond between there and Guthrie, Cedar Valley, and Cashion. That was the hardest hit area. Looks like right along Highway 74 and 74F. So don't be surprised if you had to deal with a little bit of runoff on the rainfall because it came down too fast for you. If we look elsewhere over the body of the state, you can see how most of the rainfall fell across the northern 2/3. So the Oklahoma Mesonet is still calculating the stuff down here to the south. So if I refresh this, it'll probably pick up a little bit more down here. And it'll fill in with time. So there's an inch or so. So the colors will eventually catch up with it. But you can see some yellows up here, the north and east. And right here north of Oklahoma City, we get 4 to 5 inches of rain. So there were some pockets there, some flash flooding as a result. Now, for the remainder of tonight, the severe weather threat, of course, is way down south into southern Oklahoma. And honestly, there has not been any severe storms in Oklahoma except for LaFleur County. So we can pretty much get rid of that. But brief flash flooding could occur, low-lying areas, just from the heavy rainfall. So what are we going to do? We're going to focus on tomorrow, which is your Friday. Storm Prediction Center has most of the severe weather threat down here and across far western Texas and into central and western Texas. But it has basically just a little garden variety thunderstorm outlook here over parts of central and southwestern Oklahoma. So they don't think it's going to be severe, but they do think there'll be a couple of thunderstorms. So we're going to take a look at that. Also, if we do take a look at the analogs for this upcoming pattern, it does focus most of these severe weather reports into Texas for tomorrow. Notice nothing in Oklahoma is expected. But as we go through time into, I believe, Memorial Day itself, we do see a lot of reports out here for Texas, for central and western and northern Texas. So for Memorial Day itself, there might be some pretty good storms out there for severe weather down here. But in Oklahoma, only a few reports here on the percentage side as far as probability goes, because we're not going to quite be that unstable with shear. We're going to have enough instability for some storms, but nothing to get too carried away. Now, this is a look at the Storm Prediction Center reports. The W is for wind, H is for hail. So you can see there were a few wind and hail reports here over central Oklahoma, mostly, of course, to the north, Oklahoma City Metro. And then also north of Tulsa, a few wind reports, and down here around Muskogee, and down here around Eufaula, and then out here on I-40. So there was a few reports out there, but it wasn't anything out of the ordinary. I know there was a lot of hype built up for today. I hope you've learned your lesson. Don't pay attention to it seems like the more it's hyped up, the bigger disappointment it's going to be. There were just a lot of things that weren't perfect and set up, despite what you may have heard. And I talked about some of that in my lives today and last night. But here's a look at the overall pattern as we head into the week ahead, including our holiday weekend. I want to show you this in the upper levels first. You can wrap your head around what's going on. So the colors represent lift in the atmosphere. The more color you have, the brighter the color, the more lift you get. In other words, the more you're lifting that air up to squeeze it out in the form of storms and rain. There's a little upper level low pressure center up here across the northern plains. There's one up here in the northwest, one in the northeast. There's kind of a weakened area of low here that's not really closed off. It's just a little trough action with some instability associated with that. And they come in different forms. Sometimes they're strong, sometimes they're weak. But with their little ripples of energy is what we kind of call them. It's kinetic energy. So this is kind of equated here into a southwest flow. And this is for today. Now watch what happens as we go through time. So I'm going to go ahead and take you to We'll just kind of step it through day by day. So here's Friday. So Friday afternoon, we actually transition to a west and then a northwesterly flow because this low over here moves off. So we get into where a storm track, instead of moving due west to east, it would move more kind of northwest to southeast. And that's for setting up for Friday. You can see how that continues here into Saturday. So there's Saturday afternoon. We're still kind of in that flow. Kind of goes something like this back over Colorado. So in other words, any storms that form in this area will have a tendency to drift to the south and southeast. And that's going to become important in the forecast for this weekend. There is some more energy out here to the west trying to get going. Let's see what happens with that. So we'll go on into Sunday. We're back into more of a westerly flow, but still these little ripples of energy that come through. This is what's the frustrating part because they're so weak, they're transient, they're subtle. It's just enough to prevent things from being completely dry, basically is what it is. It's an annoyance. It's a nuisance at this point for the forecast side of things. Now, on Memorial Day itself, we get back into a stronger southwest flow here. And that little low that tried to get going is kind of retrograding back here, a piece there, and a little piece is kicking out here. So some energy coming in for Monday on into Tuesdays. We go into the Tuesdays time frame. There's that little system moving across Oklahoma. So we're stuck in this rut, is what I'm trying to tell you. Even until next week, I'll go Wednesday, Thursday. There's a little brief respite. Maybe there's some energy wrapping around into Friday, Saturday. Long term, I would really like to get rid of some of this humidity, get the winds to crank up, get some sunshine out there. But long term into next weekend, the following on June 6th, we have another area of low that may end up setting up shop and causing it to rain for several days. So we need the rain, which is always good, but at some point you get too much. But that's the overall pattern coming up. All right, so let's take a look here at the details for today. So the tech model actually did fairly well once it ran its midday run as far as how the storms evolved here for this evening and how they're moving in through tonight. So by midnight, again, they're pretty much out of the state. As we enter tomorrow afternoon, you see this little batch out here in southwest Oklahoma. So this is all going to be very elevated thunderstorm activity, very light. In other words, the most you're going to get out of it is probably pea-sized hail and just a little bit of rain. But otherwise, it's not a big deal, but it is something that will at least get the car dirty and the ground briefly wet. And that is for Friday afternoon. You can see it does make its way into part of central and southern Oklahoma before falling apart. So don't be surprised, get a little bit of rain for your, let's call it, out in western Oklahoma, let's go from noon to central and southern Oklahoma by like 4 or 5 o'clock. And then that stuff kind of moves on out. Now, you do notice Texas gets a lot more activity, by the way. So if you guys in Dallas, Fort Worth, and points south and west of there, your rainfall looks a little bit better with that cluster of storms that does develop out there in western Texas and all the way down to Houston. Okay, so that's how Friday looks. Now, let's go on into the rest of your weekend. So we're going to look at a different model, so the NAM model. So it shows the storms moving through southern Oklahoma tonight. Here's midnight hour, starting to press out of the state. And then for tomorrow, it's not as excited about the storms for tomorrow afternoon out here, but it does at least show the indications of a signal. So again, don't be surprised. Mainly, the rainfall threat for tomorrow is really mostly kind of in this fashion here for Oklahoma. So I can't rule it out here in Oklahoma City, but I really think most of the action is going to be south and west of town. All right, so anyway, so that's Friday, and then we're going to focus on Saturday night. So here's where that jet stream pattern matters when it starts to change configurations. As you can see, there's going to be a cluster of storms that moves out of Colorado and then moves into the Texas and Oklahoma panhandle through Saturday night into early Sunday morning. So Sunday morning, this will work its way into at least the western third of the state. Now it's going to have a tendency to try to fall apart. So will it make it into the I-35 corridor before falling apart? It's to be determined. It looks like there's a potential. The old forecast data we looked at had it falling apart out west. Let's see what the new data is alluding to. All right, so there's Sunday 10 o'clock. It's a lot of heavy rainfall. There's lunchtime. It's got it holding together. And then starts to get weaker as it heads into eastern Oklahoma for the afternoon, but not before Tulsa gets some showers and storms. So this is a rainmaker, so more so than it is, like a horrific severe weather producer. And I'll show you the winds associated with that. But then there's Sunday afternoon. There's a little bit of redevelopment out there in western Oklahoma into Sunday night. This is models trying to go wet again, these overnight complexes. So there's Monday morning, so a nice complex through Oklahoma. It's those little ripples of energy that just come through. It's just so annoying because we're all trying to squeeze out, obviously, a decent weekend. And at first it looked really good, then it was wishy-washy, then it was mostly dry. Now it's a mixture of dry and wet, depending on the hour of the day. All right, let me go to that little complex out there on Sunday. So here is Sunday, 10 a.m. So the winds aren't too bad with that one. And then on Monday, the winds really aren't too bad with that one either. So it's not indicative of a strong wind event. It's just indicative of a good rain event. And I can show you the rainfall amounts associated with that. And then we're going to show you the winds and the clouds. So there you go. Good grief. 6 inches of rainfall. Come on, man. I never thought I'd quote Biden, but I just did. Find that funny. Anyway, where was I? Come on, brain. Where am I? I'm Sunday morning. Okay, so the bulk of this rain on the calculations as far as adding up is Sunday into Monday morning. That's a big, heavy rainmaker. So if you're going to be in plans in the lakes or on the boats, you're just going to have to deal with it. I know, it's frustrating, but it's funny. We squeezed all of our wetness in the last week or so of May than the rest of the whole spring. Okay, if we look at the cloud cover for the weekend, let me go ahead and jump on into Friday. Let's see. So here's Friday afternoon. There's those clouds moving through. We talked about with a few showers south and west of town. So let's go ahead to Saturday. Saturday's got sun. If it's white, it means it's clear. If it's dark or light blue, it means 100%, like cloud cover. All right, so it's got most of the clouds out western third of the state on Friday night, Saturday morning. And then Saturday during the day, same kind of deal. It does break up a little bit better out in western Oklahoma by the late day. So there you go for cloud cover. You're looking at a lot more sunshine on the eastern 2/3 of the state than you are the western third. And then as we head into Saturday night, Sunday morning, that's a lot of clouds everywhere. And then on Sunday, that's a lot of clouds everywhere. And then on Monday, that's a lot of clouds everywhere. All right. Now what about the wind? At least maybe we can get this going for us. Let's take a look at the wind speeds for tonight. Of course, cold front's moving in. That's what's clearing things out and giving us a pretty decent temperature profile coming up for the next several days. Let's see here. So here's Friday afternoon. We got just a light northeasterly breeze. Let me go on to Saturday. A light easterly wind. We're talking 10 miles per hour, maybe 15. So not bad at all. Now let's see on Sunday. Still same idea. Kind of an east-southeast wind. A little breezier, probably up around 20 miles per hour, especially across these southern parts of the state. Otherwise, about 10 to maybe 15 the rest of the state. And that's on Sunday. And then Monday, well, back to kind of an light easterly wind. So that is the way things look on the wind field. Now let's take a look at temperatures. And we're going to be in the 70s. So again, this is thanks to that cold front that's coming on through tonight. So in the daytime highs will be in the 70s over the next few days. So this is quite a bit cooler than our average high for this time of the year. Overnight lows, it's going to shock that Bermuda grass a little bit back into the mid-50s for Saturday morning. But then we're back close to around 60 and above as we go into the extended outlook. And then the 80s will return the end of next week. But for the meantime, there will be some cool days ahead. And it's possible we could get Tuesday all day in the 60s if we get a lot of that rainfall. It just kind of continues before moving out. So that is a possibility. All right, well, that takes care of your entire Memorial Day weekend forecast. So I hope that was helpful. Tasha, will it ever stop? No, apparently not. So Holly, so what does the barren tornado threat mean? I'm glad you asked that question. So I did go off a couple of times tonight because there was, sorry, I got a little itchy nose. There was the outflow banner that undercut the surface lift inside these thunderstorms. Well, above that layer, they were rotating pretty good. But it's amazing what happens if you just mess with one ingredient. It can just wreck everything. Well, these algorithms, they look at the entire storm. So when you see algorithms that comes up for like a twisting storm alert, it gives you a BTI number and it said medium or what threat level medium. So what it's saying is it's got all the ingredients it needs in the middle and upper parts of the storm, even the lower parts of the storm, to produce a tornado. But at the very, very lowest part, surface winds weren't right, and then it was undercut by an outflow boundary on top of that. So it would have not produced a tornado in that instance, but that's because we lucked out today the way things were going. If we all had a south to southeast surface wind, this whole event would have been much different, and it would have been probably a moderate or even high risk. It would have been a much different scenario, at least on the forecast side of things, and a lot more severe weather magnitude of reports. But anyway, so the app it's a scale of 0 to 10. If it's in the middle number, pay very close attention to the storm and think about where you want to go to seek shelter and what you need to do that. If it's like a 7, 8, 9, or 10, just go to shelter immediately, because in reference cases, anything that was about a 7 or higher was a guaranteed tornado. The low numbers are just get your attention, just to say, hey, pay attention, the storm's got rotation in it and it's a strong one. But it's a good question. So that's how you use my weather app, AT's Weather to Go. That's what she was asking about. You can get that on the Apple or Google Play Store. All right, let me look at a couple more questions, and then I'm going to turn you loose for tonight. By the way, guys in YouTube, thanks for joining in. I see you, Jim. He's got 1.5 inches on the east side of Mustang. At one point in time, he had a rainfall rate of 6 inches an hour. I'm with you, man. Here in Edmond, we had 5-inch per hour rainfall rates, and I picked up just under 2 inches here at the house. Mason got 40, 50 mile per hour winds. That was from News 5's helicopter, who decided that his apartment was a good base to hover. That's funny. Let's see. We hit 5 BTI in southern Logan County, north of Edmond. Yeah, so interesting about that, actually. I was watching that storm with my weather camera, and I told Jody, I said, man, go look at this. I said, if the winds were right, that little spot right there would be producing a tornado. And because the storm wanted to, but because of the way things had gone, it wasn't going to be able to. But again, those algorithms tripped on that because of what was going on in the mid and upper levels of that storm and the rotation with it. All right, let me go to, let's see, Facebook comments real quick. All right, I can only go up so far, so I'll hit the last ones. By the way, thanks for sending the stars tonight. I see you, Walker. Appreciate you doing that. Shelby. Yeah, man. If I'm turning you loose, it means you can go to bed and sleep well. That's for sure. Is tornado season over? So typically it runs until about the middle of June. So we call it March 15th to June 15th is usually the window that we use. Let's see. Daisy, I see you with a 3-week streak. Appreciate the stars. Ardmore's holding up pretty good. If you're going to be on a tent, camping, lake, and all that kind of stuff, you're always going to have a place to go for shelter, including even if it's just your car, for this time of the year when it comes to storms. So Reese, I love your comment. Was eating in Norman during the rainstorm and had my AT's weather app open. The server saw it, asked about it. I explained about the red pins for being my home, my family's home, so I can get alerts for weather happening by them. He thought it was so cool. He's downloading it when he gets home. Well, how about that? Oh, that's nice. Brad, are you saying SBC hyped it? No, I am not. Kimber, thank you for the star. Same thing, Dan. So, let's see. Thanks, Justin. Chris Jones, weak severe weather event. Aaron tells it right. Honestly, I'm flabbergasted as why we can't seem to get any decent, severe weather springs around here anymore. Not that I want that, obviously, I'm knocking on wood. The meteorologist in me, it's like, what in the world? And eventually it'll come back around. It's just enjoy it while it's here, I guess is all I can say, because this is Oklahoma. We get severe weather every year. Jared, I see the stars. Carrie, thank you very much. What is this sun you speak of, Ron? I'm telling you. Ugh. Laney got the sunset. Good deal. Kristen, thank you for the stars. Sunset was amazing, Amy. Hair over 3 inches in Bray, Oklahoma. Hopefully those folks that got all that rain needed it. That's all I can say. Dawn loved the sunset too. Ashley, thank you for the stars. Thank you, Ron. Karen likes the song intro. Some of you don't. That's okay. It's not for everybody. Remember, it's more about the lyrics. Let's see. Walters is getting some very heavy rain. Ryan checks in. Yes, they are. Amy, I heard a news channel say, more, it's coming for you. I turned off the news and decided that Aaron Tuttle would warn us. So, you have to understand, and I've told you this before if you watched me long enough, is Reese got a leg forming in her yard. Remember, you're watching a production when you're watching television, and you're going to get some good information out of it. Don't get me wrong. They got the helicopter shots, storm chasers, or their news crews, but you have to keep in mind that is a literal, living, breathing production to get you to watch. It's riveting. It's eye-catching. It's going to, fill you with everything you need. What comes with that, though, is a lot of, crazy talk and a lot of excitement and a lot of words to get you to really get worked up. And if that is too much for you, then just turn that off or mute it and then put me on, and then I'll calm you back down and everything will be good. So that's one way you can approach that, or just don't watch at all. It's not going to hurt my feelings. Might hurt their feelings, though. So, I don't know. It's interesting. I'm doing something weird. Never, ever has there been a former news person in the industry for 12 years on the weather side retire out of that and then come back and then compete directly against them with all the information that they learned in that environment, and then built a news studio in their home office. So that's never been done before. So I got their attention really quick, and I'm sure a lot of them, even though they mumble things under their breath, in the same side they're like, man, Aaron got this thing figured out, so I can leave this TV and just be myself and create my own brand, and I'm not having to work for channel XYZ, and then I can just cover storms like I want to when I want to. Man, he got that all figured out and he's succeeding at it. Lucky. But each their own. I'm doing that for now, and it's working for me. But it's neat, I just tried something. You guys took to it. Y'all liked it, so here we are. All right. Well, listen, I'm gonna get out of here. You guys have a great night tonight, and sleep well. It is a weekend holiday. I'm trying to think. I may not see you. I hope not to see you. If I do see you, obviously that means there's a problem. But we'll see. I may do a blog post, or maybe post on Facebook an updated model for rainfall or timing. I may do something like that, but hopefully no severe weather cut-ins. So anyway, that's what I got for you so far for tonight. So thanks for watching, and if you like the content I create, be sure you subscribe. Become a Facebook fan subscriber. You can join Patreon, Subscribe Star. You can get a t-shirt if you like. All that kind of stuff helps support what I do and pays for all this operation. You can do that through the description, which is in this video. Just tap the description header, and it'll give you all kinds of links and stuff you can take a look at. All right, and with that, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a great night. See ya.